早上好, Professor Kody. What Chinese character are we learning today?
早上好, Parry. You already know how to say good morning in Chinese. Today, let's learn how to write it. How does that sound?
Wow, Professor. I'm really curious about how to write the Chinese characters for 早上好.
Let's start with the character 早. What does its shape remind you of?
I recognize the 日 at the top. The ancient Chinese used the position of the sun to tell time, so they used 日 as the radical in the character 早. Am I right?
Correct. You've already grasped the principles of how Chinese characters are formed. Here's the oldest form of the character 早. What does it make you think of?
The line beneath the sun must be the ground, so that horizontal stroke represents the earth. But I'm not sure what the vertical line stands for.
Take a look. The sun rises from the ground all the way to its highest point. That vertical line is like an upward arrow, showing us the rising motion of the sun.
Oh, I see. I wonder which clever person came up with that.
The ancient Chinese called the time when the sun was rising 早. That's why we greet people in the morning by saying 早上好, just like we say good morning in English. A shorter way to say good morning in English is simply morning. Chinese is similar. Instead of 早上好, we can just say 早 or 早啊. At the end is a modal particle that adds warmth or enthusiasm to the greeting.
That's easy to understand. 早上好,早,早啊.
People also often say 一大早, which means early in the morning. For example, you came to learn Chinese early this morning. 今天一大早，你就来学中文了。
Early this morning, in Chinese is 今天一大早. Professor, I've noticed something interesting in English. Time expressions usually come at the end of a sentence, but in Chinese, they're often placed at the very beginning.
You're very observant. This is an important difference between Chinese and English sentence structure, and we'll talk more about it in detail later on. Now, let's take a look at the character 上. Here is its ancient form, and here's the ancient form of another character. Looking at these two side by side, what comes to your mind?
I think these two characters must express opposite meanings. In the first one, the short line is above the long line. That's the character 上, which means above. And in the second one, the short line is below the long line, so it must mean the opposite of above, which is under or below. Is that right?
Correct. The Chinese word for above is 上, and for below, it's 下. The ancient Chinese drew a long horizontal line as a reference point. The short line acted as a marker. When the marker was placed above the line, it meant above, and when placed below the line, it meant below. Later on, a vertical stroke was added, partly to make the character more visually balanced, and also to distinguish it from the number r, 2.
上 and 下 are easier to remember when learned together, and they're also simple to write.
These two characters may be easy to write and remember, but they have a wide range of meanings. First of all, their most basic meanings are above and below. You can think of the long horizontal line as a reference line in physical space. Here are two pictures. Can you complete the Chinese sentences based on the English? 抱 means 球 and table means 桌子.
Of course, even though I can't read the full sentence, it's still easy to guess. The first one should be 上, and the second one should be 下.
Very good. When 上 and 下 are used to indicate position, they should be used together with 在 on the table, 在桌子上. Under the table, 在桌子下.
Table means 桌子. 在桌子上 means on the table, and 在桌子下 means under the table. I've got it.
If the long line represents time, Then, 上 refers to something that just happened, so it means previous. 下, on the other hand, refers to something that is about to happen, so it means next. Here are two phrases, 上一个视频 and 下一个视频. 下一个视频 means one video. Can you understand what they mean?
That's not hard. The first one is the previous video, and the second one is the next video.
Excellent. Of course, 上 and 下 have many other uses, which we'll talk about later. Now, let's talk about how to say morning, noon, and afternoon in Chinese. The ancient Chinese used the sun's position to tell time. When the sun reached its highest point in the sky, roughly between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., they gave that time period a special name. 午.
So time periods have names too. I really want to know what all the names are for the 24 hours of the day.
In ancient China, people divided the day into 12 parts, which means that 1 hour back then was equivalent to 2 hours today.
No wonder you said that the 2 hours from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. were called 午.
People commonly refer to this time period as 中午, which corresponds to the English word noon. The time from sunrise to noon is called 上午, which means morning.
Professor, I see. So the time after noon is called 下午, right?
Correct. The time from noon to sunset is called afternoon. 下午.
Is it true that 上午 can also be called 早上?
Yes, 上午 and 早上 have roughly the same meaning, but in everyday usage, 早上 also refers specifically to the early morning, while 上午 simply refers to any time before noon.
I see, Professor. I learned 上午, 中午, and 下午. The character 中 is between 上 and 下, so I guess 中 means middle, right?
You're right, again. 中 means middle, and it can also mean center. For example, 中国 China, the ancient Chinese believed their country was at the center of the world, so they called it 中国. All right, let's review what we've learned today.
We learned the character 早上 means morning. We also learned that the time from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. is called 午. 中午 means noon. 上午 means morning. 下午 means afternoon.
Very good. Now, you can not only say 早上好, but also write it, right?
Professor, there's one more character. I don't know how to write. It's 好. It looks a bit hard to write.
Actually, this character is quite interesting. Let's save it for our next lesson.
All right, Professor. I'll be looking forward to the sun rising tomorrow.
Click the link in the description to watch our Chinese channel, Parry and Kody's Chinese class, fully taught in Chinese. Don't forget to claim your free practice exercises and enjoy some fun stories along the way. This is Learn Chinese with Parry and Kody. If you like our video, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment to interact with us. See you next time.